Have you ever wondered why your soul chose this particular family? Why, out of all the possibilities, you were born into a family that felt more like a battlefield than a sanctuary? Let me share something profound with you. This wasn't a cosmic accident. This wasn't even a punishment. This was a sacred selection. In the depths of your pain, in those moments when you questioned why you had to endure such ambient toxicity, but little did you know, there was something extraordinary happening beneath the surface. Your soul, in its infinite wisdom, chose this path, not because you deserved suffering, but because you were strong enough to transform it. Think about it for a moment. Before you were born, your soul looked at this particular family, with all its wounds, all its patterns, all its unhealed trauma, and said, "This is where I will awaken. This is where I will break the cycle. This is where I will transform generations of pain into wisdom." You see, being born into a toxic family isn't just about surviving the trauma, it's about transcending it. Every harsh word that made you question your worth, every betrayal that taught you to guard your heart, every moment of neglect that forced you to become your own source of love, these weren't just wounds, they were initiations. What you perceive as dysfunctional in your family system is actually a profound opportunity for evolution. Every time you felt confused by their behavior, every time their actions didn't align with their words, every time their love came with conditions, you were being shown what needed to be healed in your ancestral line. The universe doesn't place its strongest souls in easy circumstances. It places them exactly where they're needed most. You weren't born to fit into your family's dysfunction. You were born to transform it. Consider the moments when you felt most alone, most misunderstood within your family unit. These weren't signs of your inadequacy, they were signs of your awakening. Your inability to adapt to toxic patterns wasn't a failure, it was your soul's wisdom speaking through your discomfort. The very fact that you can recognize the toxicity sets you apart. This awareness, this ability to see what others in your family system might be blind to, is not a curse, it's a gift. It's the first step in the sacred path of transformation. Your sensitivity, often used against you in your family system, is actually your superpower. It's what allows you to feel deeply, to see clearly, to understand the subtleties of human behavior that others might miss. This sensitivity isn't something to be overcome, it's something to be embraced. Let's delve deeper into the profound truth of your journey. The toxicity you experienced wasn't random. It was ancestral, passed down through generations like an invisible inheritance. But here's what makes you different. You're the one who can see it. You're the one who can feel it. You're the one who was chosen to stop it. Every time you felt like an outsider in your own family, every time you questioned why you couldn't just accept things as they were, you were experiencing your awakening consciousness. Your discomfort with the dysfunction wasn't a flaw, it was a gift. Your inability to normalize the toxic patterns wasn't weakness, it was wisdom. Consider this. What if every painful experience was actually preparing you for your purpose? What if every moment of feeling different, misunderstood, or alone was actually developing your ability to see beyond the illusions that kept your family trapped in cycles of pain? The most profound truth about being born into a toxic family is this: you're not there to fix them, you're there to heal yourself. In doing so, you create a ripple effect that touches not just your immediate family, but generations to come. You're not just breaking a cycle, you're creating an entirely new paradigm of possibility. When you look at your family's patterns with conscious awareness, you begin to see the deeper truth. The criticism that wounded you so deeply. It was their unhealed shame speaking, the emotional manipulation that confused you. It was their unexpressed fear of abandonment, the control that suffocated you. It was their desperate attempt to feel safe in an uncertain world. This understanding doesn't excuse their behavior, but it allows you to see the bigger picture. You're not just healing your own wounds, you're healing wounds that have been passed down through generations. Every time you choose consciousness over reaction, every time you choose love over fear, You're not just changing your own life, you're changing your entire family's legacy. Your journey as an alchemist isn't about turning lead into gold, it's about transforming unconscious patterns into conscious awareness. It's about taking the raw material of your family's dysfunction and transmuting it into wisdom, strength, and understanding. Remember, the very patterns that caused you the most pain are the ones you're here to transform. The very dynamics that felt most toxic are the ones you're here to heal. The very relationships that challenged you the most are the ones that hold the greatest potential for transformation. The darkness you experienced wasn't meant to break you, it was meant to awaken you. The pain wasn't meant to defeat you, it was meant to initiate you. The challenges weren't meant to stop you, they were meant to strengthen you. In this alchemical process, every trigger becomes a teacher. Those moments when your family's behavior activates your deepest wounds. They're not just painful experiences, they're opportunities for profound healing. Each trigger points directly to where healing is needed, where consciousness needs to be brought, where transformation is possible. Think about the patterns you've already begun to recognize, the way your body tenses when conflict arises, the familiar ache in your heart when boundaries are crossed, the automatic responses you developed to survive. These aren't just reactions, they're gateways to understanding, portals to deeper awareness. Your journey as an alchemist requires you to stand in a powerful truth. You can love your family and still choose to be different. You can honor your lineage while choosing to heal its wounds. You can acknowledge where you came from while choosing where you're going. Your presence in this family wasn't just about personal transformation, it was about collective evolution. You're what we call a pattern breaker, a soul brave enough to look at generations of dysfunction and say, this stops with me. When you feel that deep ache in your heart, that profound longing for something different, you're not just feeling your own pain, you're feeling the collective pain of your lineage, all the unspoken truths, all the suppressed emotions, all the denied realities that have been passed down through generations. But here's the magnificent truth. Your awareness of the pain is your gateway to power. Your sensitivity to the dysfunction is your greatest gift. While others might be able to normalize the toxic patterns, you can't. And that's not your weakness. That's your strength. Every time you choose to respond with consciousness instead of reaction, every time you choose to heal instead of hurt, every time you choose to understand instead of judge, you're not just changing your own life, you're changing the lives of everyone who will come after you. This is why you were chosen. This is why your soul selected this particular journey. You're not just living your life, you're transforming your entire ancestral lineage. Every step you take toward healing, every pattern you break, every moment of conscious choice ripples both backward and forward through time. Your journey isn't about perfection, it's about progression. It's not about never making mistakes, it's about learning from them. It's not about never feeling triggered, it's about becoming conscious in the midst of triggering situations. Each time you pause before reacting, each time you choose a new response to an old situation, each time you bring love where there was once fear, you're fulfilling your sacred purpose. Remember this, the very qualities that made your childhood difficult, your sensitivity, your depth, your inability to ignore the dysfunction, are the exact qualities needed for transformation. You weren't born to fit into your family's patterns. You were born to transform them into something new. Your journey isn't about surviving your family's toxicity. It's about alchemizing it into wisdom, strength, and conscious awareness. Every wound you heal becomes a portal of understanding. Every pattern you break becomes a pathway for others to follow. Every moment of conscious choice becomes a light in the darkness for generations to come. You are, in every sense, a chosen one. Not chosen for suffering, but chosen for transformation. Not chosen for pain, but chosen for purpose. Not chosen to perpetuate the old patterns, but chosen to create entirely new possibilities for human consciousness. This is your gift. This is your purpose. This is your sacred journey. And though the path may be challenging, though the work may be deep, though the transformation may take time, you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you came here to do. Trust in the wisdom that chose this path for you. Trust in the strength that lies within you. Trust in the healing that flows through you. For you are not just healing your own life, you are healing the world, one conscious choice at a time.